For thousands of years, humanity has searched for one place more mysterious than any lost city, buried treasure, or forgotten kingdom: the Garden of Eden. According to ancient scripture, it was the birthplace of humanity, a paradise created by God, where the first humans lived before being cast out into the world. It was described as a land filled with rivers, fertile soil, precious stones, and abundant life. But unlike Atlantis or mythical realms from legends, the Garden of Eden was never described as fantasy. Ancient texts spoke of it as a real location on Earth. That single detail has obsessed historians, archaeologists, explorers, and religious scholars for centuries. Somewhere in the Middle East, hidden beneath deserts, ruined cities, and ancient riverbeds, many believe traces of Eden may still exist. The story begins in the book of Genesis. Eden is described as a lush paradise watered by a great river that split into 4 branches: the Pishon, Gihon, Tigris, and Euphrates. 2 of these rivers still exist today. The Tigris and Euphrates flow through modern-day Iraq, parts of Syria, and Turkey. Because of this, many researchers believe the story of Eden was rooted somewhere in ancient Mesopotamia, often called the cradle of civilization. Mesopotamia was one of the first regions on Earth where humans built cities, invented writing, developed agriculture, and created organized societies. Long before Egypt's pyramids rose from the desert, people in Mesopotamia were already constructing temples and irrigation systems along fertile rivers. To ancient civilizations, this land must have seemed like paradise itself compared to the surrounding deserts. Some historians believe the Garden of Eden story may have originated from humanity's distant memory of a time when the Persian Gulf region looked very different. Thousands of years ago, before sea levels rose, parts of the Persian Gulf may have been fertile plains filled with rivers and vegetation. Satellite imaging and geological studies suggest that ancient river systems once flowed through areas now submerged underwater. British archaeologist Juris Zarins proposed that Eden may have existed near the northern Persian Gulf, where several ancient rivers once converged. According to this theory, rising sea levels after the last ice age could have flooded the region, erasing much of the original landscape beneath the waters of the Gulf. If true, traces of one of humanity's oldest remembered lands may now lie underwater. The idea becomes even more fascinating when examining ancient Sumerian civilization. The Sumerians, who lived in Mesopotamia over 5,000 years ago, possessed myths strikingly similar to the biblical story of Eden. They wrote about a sacred paradise called Dilmun, a pure land where there was no sickness, no aging, and no death. Some texts described it as a divine garden blessed by the gods. These similarities have led some researchers to wonder whether the biblical Eden story was influenced by even older Mesopotamian myths passed down through generations. Rather than being entirely fictional, the story may represent humanity's fading memory of an ancient homeland lost to time. Archaeology has uncovered remarkable evidence showing how advanced ancient Mesopotamian societies truly were. Massive temple complexes called ziggurats once towered over cities like Uruk, and Eridu. Eridu is particularly interesting because some scholars consider it one of the oldest cities ever built by humans. Ancient Sumerians themselves believed Eridu was the first city created after the gods established order on Earth. The ruins of Eridu lie in southern Iraq today, surrounded by barren desert. But thousands of years ago, the region was fertile and connected to major waterways. Archaeologists discovered evidence of sophisticated irrigation systems, farming communities, and early religious worship there. Some researchers speculate that memories of such fertile ancient cities may have inspired stories of Eden. One of the greatest mysteries surrounding Eden involves the 4 rivers described in Genesis. While the Tigris and Euphrates are known, the identities of the Pishon and Gihon remain uncertain. Some theories suggest they may refer to rivers that dried up thousands of years ago due to climate changes. Satellite technology has revealed ancient river channels hidden beneath Arabian deserts, suggesting the Middle East was once far greener than it is today. In Saudi Arabia, researchers using radar satellite imaging discovered evidence of massive extinct river systems buried beneath sand dunes. Thousands of years ago, these rivers may have supported forests, wildlife, and human settlements across regions now considered inhospitable wastelands. This raises an extraordinary possibility. Ancient stories of paradise may have originated during a time when the Middle East itself looked dramatically different. Climate scientists know that around 10,000 years ago, the Earth was emerging from the last ice age. During this period, parts of the Arabian Peninsula experienced wetter climates, with lakes and grasslands spreading across areas now dominated by desert. Early humans living in these fertile regions may have witnessed the gradual collapse of their environment as temperatures changed and water sources disappeared. If entire fertile landscapes slowly transformed into desert over generations, the memory of a lost paradise could easily become embedded within cultural myths. Stories passed from parents to children for thousands of years might eventually evolve into legends about humanity being expelled from a perfect garden. Some researchers also point toward Göbekli Tepe in modern-day Turkey, one of the most astonishing archaeological discoveries ever made. Dating back over 11,000 years, Göbekli Tepe is older than Stonehenge and the pyramids of Egypt. Massive stone pillars carved with animal symbols suggest that organized religious activity existed long before scholars once believed possible. The site changed humanity's understanding of early civilization. Before its discovery, historians assumed humans first developed agriculture and permanent settlements before building temples or organized religion. Göbekli Tepe suggested the opposite may have occurred. Spiritual beliefs may have united people first, leading to the birth of civilization itself. Some writers speculate that sites like Göbekli Tepe preserve humanity's earliest attempts to reconnect with sacred origins remembered from a distant past. While there is no evidence linking the site directly to Eden, its existence proves that advanced spiritual cultures emerged in the same broad region where Eden traditions later appeared. The search for Eden has also inspired dangerous expeditions. Throughout history, explorers traveled across Iraq, Iran, Turkey, and the Persian Gulf, searching for rivers and ruins matching biblical descriptions. Some became convinced they had found traces of Eden only for later evidence to disprove their theories. Political instability in the Middle East has made archaeological research difficult for decades. Wars, looting, and destruction have damaged countless ancient sites before they could be fully studied. In Iraq alone, many priceless artifacts from ancient Mesopotamia were stolen or destroyed during periods of conflict. Some historians fear critical evidence about humanity's earliest civilizations may already be lost forever. Yet discoveries continue to emerge. New technologies such as satellite mapping, ground-penetrating radar, and underwater archaeology allow scientists to study ancient landscapes in ways impossible only decades ago. Buried rivers, submerged settlements, and forgotten trade routes are gradually being revealed beneath deserts and coastlines. Still, no definitive proof of Eden has ever been found. There are no gates guarded by angels, no tree of life hidden in a valley, and no inscription declaring this was the birthplace of humanity. Perhaps there never will be. But maybe the Garden of Eden was never meant to be understood as a single physical location. Some scholars argue it represents humanity's collective memory of a world before suffering, war, and civilization's burdens. Others believe it symbolizes the transition from hunter-gatherer life into organized society, a moment when humans gained knowledge, agriculture, and power, but also conflict, labor, and inequality. What makes the story endure is that it exists on the border between myth and history. Unlike purely fictional tales, Eden is tied to real rivers, real regions, and civilizations that truly existed. Archaeology continues uncovering evidence that ancient Mesopotamia was once far greener and more fertile than today. Entire landscapes have vanished beneath sand and sea over thousands of years. Human memory is fragile, but myths can preserve fragments of reality in ways science is only beginning to understand. Standing among the ruins of ancient Mesopotamian cities today, it is difficult not to feel connected to something unimaginably old. Broken temples rise from empty deserts where rivers once flowed. Winds sweep across lands where some of humanity's first stories were written. Somewhere beneath those sounds may lie forgotten traces of worlds that inspired legends passed down for millennia. Perhaps the Garden of Eden was real. Perhaps it was many places blended together through centuries of storytelling. Or perhaps it represents humanity's eternal longing for a lost beginning, a time before death, suffering, and exile entered human existence. Whatever the truth may be, the search continues. And somewhere in the ancient lands of the Middle East, hidden beneath ruins, older than recorded history itself, the origins of one of humanity's greatest mysteries may still be waiting to be uncovered.